United States and Israel's strikes on Iran have now turned a regional conflict into a global one, with new missile attacks across the region, heavy bombardment inside Iran, and growing pressure on global energy markets. Residents say Tehran experienced one of the heaviest nights of bombardment since the war began. U.S. and Israeli warplanes flew low over the city overnight, dropping dozens of bombs that shook neighborhoods across the capital of more than 10 million people. Explosions were also reported near Mehrabad Airport, and strikes have hit other cities including Isfahan and Karaj. Connectivity has dropped to some of the lowest levels ever recorded during a state shutdown. Authorities say the restrictions are necessary for security, while warning citizens not to share images or footage of strikes with foreign media. Despite the fighting, some shops and taxi drivers continue to operate in parts of the capital, though queues for petrol remain long after strikes hit major fuel facilities earlier this week. The intense night of bombing came after U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said Washington is escalating its campaign. He said the goal was to destroy Iran's missile capabilities, eliminate its navy and permanently prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. Iran, however, says it will continue to fight back. Senior official Ali Larijani said Iran would resist the attacks, warning the Strait of Hormuz could become a strait of defeat and suffering for those attacking the country. Iran has already responded with missile and drone strikes across the region, including attacks on oil facilities in Gulf countries. Iran launched a new wave of missile and drone attacks targeting Israel and U.S. assets across the Middle East, including in Iraq, Bahrain and Kuwait. Saudi Arabia said it intercepted several drones heading toward its Sheba oil field, while Kuwait and the UAE also reported shooting down incoming projectiles. Meanwhile, Israeli media reported that all missiles fired toward Israel were intercepted, though air raid sirens sounded across Tel Aviv and central parts of the country. As the fighting spreads across the region, Qatar has called for urgent de-escalation and a return to diplomacy. Qatar's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Mohammed bin Abdulaziz Al Khalifi, said continued attacks across the Gulf benefit no one and warned the conflict is now threatening regional stability and energy supplies. Speaking to Al Jazeera, he urged Iran and the United States to return to negotiations, saying a sustainable solution can only come through diplomacy. Al-Khalifi also condemned attacks that have targeted Qatar and other Gulf states, stressing that countries like Qatar and Oman had previously tried to mediate between Iran and the West but cannot play that role while under attack. He warned that protecting shipping through the Strait of Hormuz is critical for global energy markets and called for a global effort to ensure the waterway remains open. The conflict is also taking a toll on U.S. forces. The Pentagon says around 140 American service members have been wounded since the war began on February 28. Most injuries are minor, but 8 troops remain seriously injured, while 8 U.S. personnel have been confirmed killed in attacks linked to the conflict. The war is also spilling into maritime routes. Shipping authorities say an unknown projectile struck a container vessel off the coast of Ras Al Khaimah in the UAE, damaging the ship but causing no casualties. Energy markets have also been rattled by conflicting signals from Washington. Oil prices briefly surged close to $120 a barrel, before plunging sharply after reports that international agencies could release emergency oil reserves. Prices are still around 17% higher than before the war began, and analysts warn they could spike again if the strait remains blocked. At one point, U.S. officials suggested a tanker had been escorted through the strait, a claim later denied by the White House. But even as fighting escalates, the timeline of the war remains unclear. Trump has said the conflict could end very soon, while also insisting attacks will continue until Iran is decisively defeated. Iran, on the other hand, said on Monday that there was no room to discuss a ceasefire while military attacks by the United States and Israel continue.